same starting lineup?
We could, yeah.
What did you like about what you saw from that group?
Well, the final result, you had a number of guys step up and play well. And it's not really about who's starting, it's about the entire game and how you finish. And so we had a number of guys step up and play well.
Tom, over the first 3 games, Indiana's had a bunch of offensive possessions where they try to put either Cat or Jalen on the back ends of pick and rolls. How do you feel like the guys not directly involved in those actions, the helpers and the weak side, low man and all that, how do you feel like those guys have performed in those situations in order to?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the NBA. You see it every night. It's not anything new. You deal with it all year long, and that's how most teams play. So you have to have awareness. You tie together. You have to be in the gaps, and you have to communicate. You got to get everyone talking to the ball.
Hey Tom, you talk about like little things that can get the group going. And Landry Shamet, I think he drew an offensive foul on Toppin about a minute and a half to go in the third. Did you see that as an energy play at that point?
Yeah, the hustle plays are huge. I think you need those. Those type of things unite and inspire the team. So great effort plays, and oftentimes those things can, particularly, not so much the dead balls, but more the live ball turnovers that can get you into the open floor and get you easy baskets. But the hustle is huge.
Coach, throughout the series, we've seen Cat deliver under pressure. What stood out to you about the way he's responding when the game is on the line?
Yeah, just, he's been through a lot of situations. He's got experience, so he's been in playoff games. And just to play with poise under pressure, to understand what's going on in the game.
TJ McConnell's had a bunch of good moments in the series. Just what makes him such an impactful player for them?
High energy, pushes pace, can get into the paint, plays with a lot of toughness. He's been a very good player for them for a long time.
Tom, just with how many close games you guys have played, even the ones that have been 20-point margins for part of the game end up being ones that are one possession at the end. How do you gauge when you're going to use a challenge? Not necessarily, I imagine there's a lot of plays that you'd like to use them for, but obviously with how close these games have been, the timing probably matters a ton as well.
Yeah,
How do you use the timing?
and you have guidelines, that you use, but sometimes there's variables that go into it. Like you try to obviously save it for the end, and then you also have to weigh in. Is it a foul that are you taking points off the board? Is it a foul that puts somebody on the bench? Those are the things that you have to decide, and then they're tough decisions, but you try to do what you think is best.
Coach, Game 3 obviously began with the personnel switch in the starting 5, and down the stretch, the connectiveness on D really gave Indiana some fits. What did you see? What was that closing lineup able to unlock?
Yeah, and again, so the closing lineup ended up being a lineup for the most part that had played a lot together, and you're just reading the game and what's going on and what do you need at that particular time. Do you need more offense? Do you need more defense? And then you're trying to make your decisions based on that and how the game's flowing and what are their matchups, who do they have on the floor, and what are you trying to take care of.
Tom, there have been instances throughout this postseason where multiple guys have had high foul counts. Just looking back at the film, have you seen that your guys are fouling more than you'd like, or is there a little bit of gray area there as well?
Yeah, and again, I think you have to, you want to play with physicality, and there's, contact with intelligence, and also reading how the game is being officiated. And sometimes there's a variance from game to game, so you have to adjust accordingly, but you don't want that to take away from your aggressiveness. And I think having discipline and understanding what's going on is very important.
Two more. The fouls, and specifically with Jalen, obviously they're hunting him, but is it, can he do something differently, or is it just something the team can do differently to keep him out of foul trouble? What are you seeing there? Yeah,
just, and again, like some of the plays are, like they're 50-50, they can go either way. Like he's, I'm looking, like he's taking charges and he's getting called for blocks. And I don't care, what the officiating is saying. I've studied this league a long time. I know what a charge looks like. So, and then to, you know, you challenge it and they still say, and then they'll, you know, I'll at least leave it at that.
Thanks, Dwan.
Tom, just with campaign, he didn't get any minutes last game for the first time this postseason. It seemed like DeLon Wright jumped him in the rotation. Just what went into that decision?
Yeah, it's just a coach's decision. Cam is a terrific player, very good pro. We're asking a lot of people to make sacrifices, put the team first, and he's done that his whole career. So just stay ready.
All right, thanks, Coach.